Hey, this is Rick Kaselj, injury specialist from exercisesforinjuries.com. In today's video, I wanted to go through a simple 90-second neck pain examination. And I'll get Andrea to demonstrate it, and then I'll end up going through it in detail. Good. So there you go. It ends up being, 4 primary movements that she ends up going through, and it ends up being into 2 groups that she ends up going through. Now, when it comes to neck pain examination, so with the first one that Andrea went through, it ends up being neck flexion. So it's trying to bring that chin down to the sternum and then coming back up. Key thing to remember, the rest of the body's in a good position. So I've got her in a sitting position in order to take out the lower body so that she can end up being in a good upright position when it comes to her head, shoulders, hips are a nice straight line. Curvature in her low back's normal for her, and same with her mid back, it's normal for her. Then she's going through that flexion movement. And what we're looking for is 70 to 90 degrees of range of motion when it comes to that neck flexion. Now, if there ends up being less than that 79 degrees, then it is something that we end up needing to address when it comes to the neck pain rehab program. Now, looking at the next movement, so neck extension, good starting position. Now she's going to end up bringing that head back. So it's like she's trying to bring that chin towards the ceiling while bringing that head back and then coming back. So we're looking at nice smooth movement. This happens with all 4 of the primary movements. You're not overexerting or trying to force the movement to happen. And the amount of range of motion we're looking for is 55 degrees of range of motion when it comes to that movement. Once again, if it ends up being less than 55 degrees, it ends up being something that we need to address in the neck pain exercise rehab program. Now she moves, facing the camera so it's easier for you to see. We're looking at lateral flexion. So now she's going on both sides. And how this one works is she's looking at, like she's trying to bring that ear down to her shoulder. Key thing to remember is you're not shrugging up the shoulders. They're nice and relaxed, okay? You're going to one side and then you're going to the other. Smooth controlled movement. You're looking for light resistance. You're not trying to force the movement. And with this one, what we're looking at is roughly 35 degrees of range of motion that a person should end up having. And it's perfectly normal to have one direction better than the other. It's perfectly normal to have one direction feel easier or move easier than the other. And that's because it can end up being a number of reasons. A lot of times it ends up being because a lot of the stuff that we end up doing, we end up being more dominant on one side. So if you end up doing more of your work and more stuff with one side, we end up having a little bit of imbalance going on in that side of the body. It's something to be aware of, and it's something to kind of work on addressing. So if you end up having less than 35 degrees of range of motion, it means that in the neck pain exercise rehab program, you need to end up addressing that. Now, the 4th primary movement ends up being rotation. So Andrea's going to rotate to one side as far as she can, and then rotating to the other side. Good. And we're looking at 70 degrees of range of motion happening in the neck. And just like the lateral flexion, one side oftentimes tends to be better than the other. And it oftentimes ends up being because of those muscle imbalances. And you want to address that muscle imbalance in your exercise program, in your recovery program, prevention program, and specifically in your neck pain exercise rehab program. So there you go. That ends up being a quick 90-second neck pain examination. Now, this video is way longer than 90 seconds, but as you saw at the start, what Andrea went through, it's pretty quick to kind of go through. Now, you might be wondering, well, it's only me. How can I end up going through things and seeing how I'm doing? easiest way ends up being, if you end up having a smartphone and there's a camera on that smartphone, you can just click the button, and instead of the camera facing that way, it can end up facing you. If you're female, there's a good chance that you've done that when it comes to putting on makeup. So you can, instead of just using it to help you put on makeup, you can end up having it help you when it comes to doing your neck pain examination. So there you go. Now, if you like this video and like the neck pain examination that I went through, I end up having 5 more tricks to help you fight neck pain and tightness. In order to get that report, just click right here, let me know where to send it, and I'll end up sending that report right away. Now, if you're watching this video on a mobile device like a tablet or smartphone, head down below into the description, click the first link, which will end up being exercisesforinjuries.com/necks. Also, if you like this video, make sure to like it. If you have another question that you want me to answer, leave it down below in the comments section. And before you go, remember to subscribe so you'll end up getting future pain relieving videos.